Hello guys, welcome to Online Web Tutor. I am Sanjay. We are learning Level 8 Framework tutorial. This is our part number 100. Inside this video, we will see the concept of API development using JWT Authentication. In the last video, we had discussed the same concept, but that was for Sanctum Authentication. So for this video, again we have an article. So if I back to browser, go inside this blogging website, click on articles, level 8, search here, let's say API development, pressing enter, scroll down, and we should see the link of article that is REST API development in level 8 with JWT authentication. So simply I will click on that article link, and this article is totally from scratch, from Laravel installation up to application testing. So we will follow each step of this article to implement and see API development using JWT authentication guide. So first of all, we need to install Laravel 8 setup. So scroll down, and here is the Composer command. So by using Composer, we are going to install our Laravel 8 setup. And one more thing, that inside this video, what are the APIs we will create? We will create user registration API, login API, user profile API, refresh token, as well as logout API. So let's install our Laravel 8 setup. Scroll down. I am copying this command. Back to folder structure. First of all, I will open terminal inside this folder. So currently we are inside this Laravel. I am pasting the command what I have copied, and simply I will call it as JWT Auth. This is the project setup. So press enter. It is creating project. Project has been now installed. So if I go back to folder structure, and we should see the folder that what we have created called JWT Auth, and here it is. So let's open about this folder. I am opening into VS Code, and one more thing, for the time being, back to PHP admin, we need to create a database. So click here, and let me call it the database name as JWT Auth. So I will copy the name, click on create button, back to VS Code editor. So successfully we have now opened our project into VS Code editor. So first of all, let's configure about database. So open about.env file, and the database we have created with the name called JWT Auth. In my case, for my system, the username of PHP admin is admin and password is admin123. In your case, it may be different. Back to blog article. So next, what we have to do, we have connected here database. Next we need to install and configure JWT Auth package. So basically, JWT Auth is a Composer package we need to install inside this application to configure and use JWT authentication tool. So first of all, I will copy this command. Back to terminal. Let's go inside folder called cd JWT Auth. I will paste it here, pressing enter. Composer JWT package now installing. Back to blog article. Next we need to migrate. So copy this command, back to terminal. PHP --migrate. This command is going to migrate all the pending migrations to our database. So pressing enter. And as we can see that all tables migrated. This command has migrated users table, password resets, and failed jobs. These are by default migration you will get after installation. Go here, and next we need to open app.php file from config folder, and inside app.php we will find providers array and aliases array. Inside these arrays we need to add few lines. So if I will copy, go inside our config folder, open up app.php, and inside app.php, first we need to find providers. So either we can search providers into this file, or if I scroll, so here we have providers array, and into last line I will add this. So after inserting providers array, next we need to update aliases. So I will copy these two lines, go here inside this editor, search for aliases, and at the footer I will add these two lines. So successfully now we have updated app.php file. Back to blog article. Now next we need to publish our JWT config. So here is the command. So I will copy, back to terminal, pasting it here, pressing enter. Now this command has published JWT config file inside config folder. If I back to directory structure, go and reload inside this config folder, now you should see a file called jwt.php, and this is JWT config file. Back to article. Now next we need to generate a JWT secret key. So copy this command, go here, pressing enter, and as you can see JWT Auth secret now generated. And automatically one more task also done, that this command added this key into .env file. If we go here, go inside this .env file, scroll down, and as you can see that while running that command, automatically it added a new key with the token value means secret key inside this .env file. And this variable now accessible inside each of the controller files and inside each of the application. So if I copy this key, go here inside this JWT, search here, and as we can see that this key now accessing from env and storing inside this secret variable or inside this secret key. So when we had run this command called php artisan JWT secret, it has created a secret key and added inside .env file. Back to blog article. Now next we need to create user model. So by default when we install Laravel 8 setup, so inside app models we will find a user model. So inside this model we need to configure JWT token. So first of all we need to add this line. So I will copy, go here, pasting it here. Again go here, copy this implements JWT subject. I will copy and pasting it here. If I back to blog article, scroll down, here we have two methods. If I will copy, called get JWT identifier and get JWT custom claims. So I will copy these two methods, go here and pasting at the footer of this user model. All we have done. If I back to article, now next we need to update our auth.php file. It means inside auth.php file we will work on authentication guard. So first of all inside this defaults, let's open up the file called auth.php from config folder, and inside this config folder auth.php file, as we can see guard equals to web. So what we have to do, guard equal to API. So I will update this API. Now next inside this guards array, here we have a API array. Inside this API array first of all we need to update driver. If you go here, search for guards, as we can see here we have an API array driver equal to token. So we will update something driver equal to JWT. Rest all will be same. Go here. Now next we need to create authentication controller. So I will copy this command, back to terminal, pasting it here, press enter. This command will create auth controller.php file inside controllers folder. If I back to editor, reload this directory structure, go inside app, http controllers, and here is the auth controller file. We need to write our API methods inside this file. Back to blog article. So what I will do, simply I will copy the complete code of auth controller, back to editor, remove this existing code and pasting it here. Save changes. So right now inside this auth controller we have a construct method, login method, register method, logout, refresh, user profile, and create new token. So all these methods are created for any specific task. Like inside this login method, by the help of login method we will do login API. by the help of register method, we will do register API. This is for the logout API. This is for refresh token. Refresh token, what it means? It means that when we log in a user, then it will generate, here we have the login method, it will generate a JWT token. So after setting a bit of interval of time, if we want to update the JWT token or access token, so by the help of refresh method, we can regenerate the JWT token value. Here we have for user profile API, and this is the method by the help of that actually we are generating token and sending to API response. So these are the methods of auth controller. Back to blog article. Next we need to create authentication routes. So I will copy the whole code, or before copy, if I copy this line, go inside api.php, because all API routes we will configure inside api.php file. Go to routes, open a file called api.php. I will add this line, and here if I will copy this route group, go here and pasting it here. Let's understand about this routes settings. First of all, this is a group. Inside this group, we are passing middleware equals to API and prefix equals to auth. What it means? It means that when we want to hit this API routes, the URL is something localhost. After that, we need to add API as a prefix, because all these routes configured inside this api.php. So we need to add by default API prefix. So the complete URL will be something for the login route is something localhost API/auth/login. Inside these routes, we have for the login, which is post request type, register, logout, refresh, and user profile. Now inside this auth controller, these all routes now mapped with all these methods, and these methods now available inside this auth controller. Back to blog article, and finally we have done all the steps, and this is the final step, that is application testing. So first of all, we need to start development server, and I need to open Postman testing API tool for testing our APIs. So let's start this development server. If I back to Postman, and now inside this we need to pass our route URLs. So first of all, I will copy our base URL, something localhost, which has been started at 8000 ports. So copy, go here, pasting it here, and for the first API, if you back to api.php, let's say that we are going to call register API. By the help of register method, we will register our users inside database table, and this route is from post request type, and the parameters we need for register API, if we back to auth controller, go inside register method, and we should see the required parameters as name, email, and password. And one more thing, that we have used confirm validation rule. It means that we need to take one more parameter inside body, and that is password underscore confirmation. Otherwise, this validation will give always error if you don't pass password underscore confirmation as an input parameter. Go here inside this Postman, change to post request type, and API is the prefix because we are developing APIs inside from api.php. So API prefix we need to add, and one more prefix we need to add called auth, and this is because inside this api.php we have configured prefix equals to auth. So we need to add auth here, and after that the route name is something register. So if I copy back here, open into a new tab, so the URL for the register is something like this, API auth and then register. Back to Postman, go inside these headers, let's say content type, application JSON, accept, application JSON, go inside this body, click on raw, and inside this we need to pass our parameters like name. Next we need to pass email. Here we should have called password, and one more parameter we need called password underscore confirmation, and this is because we have added confirmed as a validation rule. So after adding that rule, automatically we need to add this password confirmation field inside this body. Now next we need to pass our value. So for the first round, let's say that these values are empty, and as we know we have implemented our validations. Click on send button, and if I scroll down, as we can see that we have all the validation error messages. So let's pass some value here. I am passing my name, something dummy email value, password is something 1 to 8, password is from 1 to 8. Click on send button, and as we can see that user registered successfully. So if I back to DB table, click here, go to users, and inside this users table now we have a single row entry. So this is all about for register API. Now if we will try for the login API, copy this route, open into a new tab, and for the login API again we have the post request type, and inside this login we need to pass the email address and the password. Back to Postman, select post request type instead of register. Let's say login, go inside headers. So I will copy these two headers what we have passed inside this API, bulk edit. I will copy key value edit, go to login, bulk edit, pasting it here, key value edit, and as we can see that headers now imported. Go to body, select raw, we need to pass email address and the password. So here we have email. Now next we have password, and if we will look inside this login method, as we can see validation implemented. So at the first, when we click this login method without passing any value, here as we can see that we have validation error messages. So let's pass some value, and these are valid details. Or in the first step, let's pass incorrect password, click on send button, unauthorized. Now if I change to let's say valid password, click on send button, and here as we can see that access token generated, and this is a JWT token. This token contains 3 segments. The first segment here as we can see before dot, it is header. Now next, inside this second segment, as we can see this is known as payload, it means user data, and finally we have a segment after dot, it is signature. So inside this JWT token we have header, payload and signature. So this is all for login API. Now next let's see all about user profile API. So I will copy this route, pasting it here, change it to, if I back to api.php, copy this user profile, and this is using get request type. So instead of login, let's say user hyphen profile, get request type, and inside headers we need to pass our content type and accept. One more parameter we need something authorization. If you back to api.php, inside this file as we can see that the user profile route is hitting user profile method. If I back to auth controller, go to its construct method. Now here we have implemented a middleware concept. It means that inside this login and register, middleware didn't work, but for other APIs like what we have called user profile, refresh, logout, for these 3 APIs we need to pass a JWT token inside authorization key. Back to Postman, go here, I will copy this JWT token, user profile, headers, let's say content type, application JSON, accept, application JSON, and one more parameter, let's say authorization. Here we need to pass bearer, space, and putting our token value. Click on send button. So before clicking on the send button, if I uncheck authorization, it means we are not sending authorization in header. click on send button, and it is unauthenticated. So when we pass authorization, click on send button, and as we can see that now we are able to access the user profile, and this is on the basis of this token what we have passed inside authorization inside header. So this is for user profile API. Now next, let's see all about for refresh. So here is the route called refresh, which is from post request type. So what I will do, simply I will copy, open into a new tab, post request type, and change it to something refresh. Copy all three body parameters like header parameters. So I will copy, go here, headers, click here, pasting it here, and successfully as we can see that we have now imported. So let's say that at the first stage I am not sending this authorization key inside header for this API, but as we know that this API needs authorization or token inside header, but we are not sending. Click on send button, and as we can see, unauthenticated. So when we pass authorization, what it will do, simply after validating this token, it means this is a valid token, it will regenerate a new token on the behalf of same user ID. And after generating a new token, this old token will be invalid. If we click on send button, as we can see that this is a new access token. Go here, and again if we click on this send button with the old access token value, and this is unauthenticated, it's because the new token has been regenerated. So this is all about refresh token API. Finally we have Logout API, which is of post request type. So what I will do, simply I will copy, go here, pasting it here, post request type. So instead of refresh, let's do logout, and inside this logout API again we need to pass all these three header parameters. So I will copy here, go here, headers, bulk edit, pasting it here, but this time actually we have regenerated our access token, so we need to pass this new updated key with this token value. So I will pass it here, click on key value edit, and we have now headers. So if I click on send button, or before that if you go inside this user profile, let's paste this updated token value, click on send button, and here are the profile values of that user. But when we click on this logout API, user signed out, but now with the same token value, if I click on this send button, now it is unauthenticated. So this is the video guys all about API development using JWT token. In the next video we will see something more concept. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.